as Captain Shima and her Category 3 vessel followed exovol in deeper and deeper into the magnetic field of this celestial dwarf, now starting to enter the outer rings of the world that circled its tiny form. Captain, it appears that they're beginning to arc around the planet at a very close proximity. At this rate, we're going to lose sight of them. Damn it, Captain Shima replied, still clawing one of her long fingernails into the armrest of her seat. Remain calm, Shima. Do not allow yourself to be played a fool by some no-one captain from nowhere. Logistics. Give me an analytic readout based on current trajectory, speed, from where and when will they exit coming around the other side of the planet. Yes, Captain, one of the men running around the bridge between multiple pieces of equipment said as he furiously clicked away at the screens. Based on the projections of their current movement, speed, and angles, we can surmise that if they continue the current course, they'll make their way around the planet and appear on the other side in approximately 1.3 minutes. Good. All stop, Captain Shima shouted. Use thrusters to adjust ship position to face the exoplanet, and give me crew members on the left and right of the ship with long-range visual connectors, just in case they decide to be tricky. Whether they come from the left or the right, it won't matter. Even if they try to turn around, thinking that we'll just believe they're going to come back out the other side, it won't matter. We'll be prepared. And if they try to move in through the outer surface of the world in order to come at us from below, we're facing directly down. There's nowhere for them to hide, Captain Shima said, beginning to lean forward in her seat. I've got you trapped like a rat, Captain Mika, and you're not going anywhere. This conflict is going to be mine, not just due to the superiority of my ship and crew, but because of my superior strategic abilities. Don't play a game of chess with a master. You'll only be made a fool, she said, a sly grin on her face, as the ship moved into position, the bow of the ship angling down towards the planet, her crew members frantically moving into position. Arm all weapons at the ready. Prepare thrusters for emergency maneuver. The moment they peek their head out from either direction, I need you ready to adjust course and place all weapons in primary fire range. But remember, we don't want the ship destroyed outright. They still have the Kothians. If we blow it out of the sky, we can't collect them. Fire to immobilize. Yes, Captain Shima. All of the members of the crew shouted at once as they frantically typed away at their different control panels. Captain, we're picking something up, one of the crew members said. They're exiting from the left side of the planet, as the projections would have predicted, moving at a rapid pace towards our location. Our visual spotters have detected them. Adjust course. All weapons. Fire at will, she said, as the ship began to turn, the weapons beginning to unload, firing one after another in a darted sequence at the ship that seemed to be heading in their direction. Yes, we're finally beginning to pick them back up on our scanners, ma'am. It's still hazy, but that's definitely them. They do not appear to be adjusting course for our weapons fire. They're heading straight into it. Well, then keep firing. Ma'am, they're on a collision course. Did you hear me? Yes, ma'am, the grunt replied, turning away from Captain Shima, who looked quite upset with his constant questioning. At this point, he had learned that when she began to get like this, the only wise course of action was to obey without question. All weapons are firing at maximum capacity. We're registering impacts to the ship, but it's still on a heading directly for us. It's not slowing down. Wait a second. What the hell is that? The crew member said, staring puzzled down at the screen in front of him. What? What's going on? Captain, they've just come in close enough that our scanners are able to get a clearer read. It's not them, Captain. What? You're telling me that there's another ship out here? No, Captain. It's not a ship. I don't know what it is. It's emitting some sort of strange electrical field, but I don't think it's solid. It's high in metals and producing an energy field, but it's not a solid mass. It's like a cloud of tiny metallic particles of some kind. What? If that's not the ship, then... At that very moment, a massive impact rocked the vessel, sending countless members flying across the bridge and no doubt across the ship in general, as the vessel began to spin wildly, flurrying in space. Electrical conduits burst everywhere. Smoke rose from out of the vents. Control panels caught fire. Even Captain Shima herself was thrown out of her chair, hurtling across the room, finally sliding against the floor and impacting the wall. Everyone on board the bridge was completely thrown for a loop. Some of them weren't even getting back up. "Damage assessment!" Shima shouted as she began to crawl her way to her feet. "What in the hell was that?" As one of the still conscious bridge crew crawled his way back to the screen, pulling himself up and beginning to access the information. "Captain, it was a ship-to-ship impact. The enemy ship collided with us." "What are you talking about?" Shima replied furiously, a mad look on her face, gritting her teeth so tight that it seemed like they might break. "Why wouldn't we have detected them? Where did they even come from?" "Ma'am, they must have been running silent, using the planet's gravitational field to carry them, down to only visual sensors. As long as they kept their thrusters at minimum, we wouldn't have picked them up. Ugh, damn it. Those imbeciles. Ugh. Well, at this point, they've probably fractured their own ship. With the amount of damage that they did to us, there's no way they're in good condition. Adjust tenets," Shima shouted as she began to make her way back to the captain's chair frantically. "Find where they are." "There's no need, Captain. They haven't gone anywhere." "What?" Shima replied, still trying to get her bearings on the situation. "Ma'am, according to our scans, their ship is still attached to us. The entire bow segment has lodged itself onto our vessel." "Why in the hell? How in the hell would that happen?" "It doesn't make any sense." "Captain, I don't know how to tell you this, but something insane is going on. Even beyond the impact, we're starting to lose more and more systems. Everything seems to be going down, one system after the next. Captain, we're also starting to receive reports of some sort of strange liquid substance that's beginning to flood different cabins, corridors, and electronic systems on board the ship. It's flooding all of our electronic systems, blocking off corridors. It's beginning to spread throughout the entire ship. We've already lost nearly 30% of control over our systems." "How? How are they doing this? How are they doing this? Shima said, now beginning to stare down at the floor in front of the captain's seat, contemplating how everything has gone so wrong so quickly.